In this video, we are going to learn about VLAN trunking. So basically there are two types of trunking. First is static trunking, which is done by which is turned on by this command, switch mode trunk, this command. And the next one is dynamic trunking, which uses DTP. And what is DTP? That is dynamic trunking protocol. We'll get into that. First, let's understand why do we need trunks and what is the main use of trunks. So I have two switches here. Switch 1 connected to two different devices, and I have configured both of these devices into separate VLANs. This one is in the VLAN 10, which has a subnet of 192.168.1.0 subnet, and this one is in 2.0 subnet. Similarly, on the right hand side, this device is in VLAN 10, and this device is in VLAN 20. So if I want to, communicate between this device and this device, so right now they are not connected. But when I try to establish a connection between these two switches, so first of all, what's happening here is by default the DTP is on, dynamic trunking protocol is on, and after like 20-30 seconds after the process of STP, these will automatically become trunks. So when I try to ping this device, which is 1.3, okay, from this device, if I try to ping that 192.168.1.3, the ping is getting failed. I'll try once again, and it failed again. So why this has failed? Because we did not set up a trunking port. So what we need here is on both of these switches, we need this FA0/3 to be a trunk port. For that, let's enter into this switch. I'll configure this as a static trunk first. Then let's talk about DTP, dynamic trunking. All right, enable. Right now I'm in the configuration mode, and I have to configure this interface as trunk. So for that, interface FA0/3 switchboard mode trunk. That's it. So this is trunk now. Alright, the LEDs are gone green. This means that the dynamic trunking protocol here is active. So let's check if we have connectivity now. I am able to receive the ping back. Alright. So it depends on what switches you are configuring. On some older switches, it is required that you configure both these interfaces as trunk. We can do that here as well. So static trunking on both the sides. But by default, what has happened when I set this port as a trunk, and as this is directly connected to the FA0/3 of this second switch, what it did is it analyzed that the other side was configured as trunk. So I got these console messages here after that. It blocked this port because it says inconsistent port type, and then it changed the state to down, and it came back up because the dynamic trunking protocol was enabled here. So basically what happens is if you configure one interface as trunk, this other side of the other interface of this link as trunk, the another one automatically becomes trunk. This automatically starts trunking because of this dynamic trunking protocol. But let's configure this also as a static trunk. For that, configure terminal. Let's go to interface mode, FA0/3 switchboard mode trunk. And on some devices, you need to specify the encapsulation. So trunking uses encapsulation .1q. This is a command which you need to give. before it can change the mode to trunk, you need to specify this on some older switches. All right. That is also used in router as a stick. In that concept also we'll be using that. So now we have statically assigned trunk to both of these interfaces. But if you want to remove the, if you don't want to send the DTP packets, you can use this command, switchboard trunk, sorry, switchboard. You can you can use this command, switchboard no negotiate. What this will do is this command will tell this interface FA0/3 to stop sending DTPs as it is statically configured as trunk. We'll do the same thing here. Switchboard no negotiate. This command disables the DTP packets, DTP frames. Alright, that was static trunking. Now if I want to enable the dynamic trunking again, so there are two different types of dynamic trunks. First is dynamic trunks, auto. Second is desirable. Okay, so auto mode is by default. So by default, all these interfaces, by default these interfaces are in dynamic desirable mode. And you know, if you configure one side of this trunking interface as desirable and another as an auto, then both of them start acting as trunks. Alright, so let's do some dynamic trunking here. I'll go to this switch, exit out of this first, interface phase 0/3, switchboard mode. See, there are three types of modes. Dynamic, we'll use dynamic here. Dynamic, auto and desirable. So when this is set to desirable, what this interface will do, it will continuously send DTP packets to the other end, and auto will wait for the other end to send DTP packets. Switchboard mode dynamic, desirable. Okay. Yeah, we have no negotiate configured, so we need to remove that first. I'll just do one thing. Switchboard. Okay, no switchboard, no negotiate. Okay, this has removed the negotiate command. And okay, switchboard mode dynamic desirable, done. Change state to up. Now let's exit out of here and let's configure the other side as dynamic desirable as well. Same thing here, no switchboard, no negotiate, and switchboard dynamic, switchboard mode dynamic desirable. Alright, this is done. Skip the time little bit. Now let's check if we have connectivity from this device to this device, as both of them are in VLAN 20. Ping 192.168.2.3. So we have replies here, and that's it. That's all about trunking.